Galactus. Before there were stars, before there were planets, before this universe even existed, there was Galen of Ta. His world was the crown jewel of a dying cosmos, a utopia of scientists and explorers all racing against the inevitable collapse of their universe. Galen was the son of Ta's greatest mind, and like any explorer with a death sentence hanging over his head, he searched for a way out, but cosmic radiation was swallowing everything. One by one, his people fell. Entire galaxies burned out. Finally, his ship reached the end of existence itself, and Galen watched every last crewmate perish. And then the universe itself stepped in. The sentience of the cosmos, basically the soul of creation, merged with him. Galen didn't die. He transformed. When the new universe was born, so was something entirely different: Galactus. Now, Galactus isn't your mustache-twirling villain. Odin once compared him to a supernova, or the solar wind, a natural force. His hunger is the universe's hunger. He doesn't want to slaughter civilizations. He has to. In fact, he's been described as a test. If your people can withstand his arrival, you prove your worth. If not, you're erased from history. At first, Galactus scouted worlds himself, but the universe is endless, and even a cosmic god needs efficiency. That's when he made a call that changed Marvel forever. He created heralds, beings chosen to carry a fraction of his power cosmic. Champions who could fly ahead, find the next planet, and prepare it for the feast. Each one unique, each one legendary. From noble sacrifices like the Silver Surfer to brutal monsters like Morg the Executioner, the heralds are more than scouts. They're extensions of Galactus himself, the most famous entourage in the galaxy. And it all started with the man who outlived an entire universe: Silver Surfer. On the shining planet of Zenla, life was perfect. Too perfect. No war, no poverty, no struggles, just endless pleasure. But for Norrin Radd, perfection felt like a prison. He wanted more than comfort. He wanted meaning. That search for purpose collided with destiny the day Galactus came to feed. Zenla had no weapons, no armies, no way to fight back. The people panicked, frozen in fear. Norrin wasn't willing to watch his world die quietly. He took a ship, flew straight into Galactus's path, and made the boldest bargain in Marvel history: spare his planet, and he would serve as the Cosmic Scout. Galactus accepted. In that instant, Norrin's skin turned silver, his humanity was stripped away, and a shining board became his eternal companion. The Silver Surfer was born. As Herald, he wielded the power cosmic, enough strength to topple gods. He could shatter planets, bend energy, and outrun the speed of light itself. To ease his guilt, Galactus wiped his memories, turning him into the perfect tool. For centuries, the Surfer guided his master to one civilization after another, feeding the endless hunger. Then came Earth. Humanity was defenseless, but one person broke through. A blind sculptor named Alicia Masters spoke to the nobility still buried inside him. Something stirred. The memories of Zenla, of his lover Shalabal, of the promise he made to protect life. In that moment, the Surfer betrayed Galactus, helping the Fantastic Four save the planet. Galactus punished him harshly, trapping him on Earth. For years, he wandered as an outsider, torn between guilt and compassion, carrying the weight of billions of dead worlds on his conscience. And yet Galactus himself admitted it. Out of all the heralds, the Silver Surfer was his favorite. A tragic hero, a cosmic wanderer, and the face of Galactus's legacy. Gabriel the Air-Walker. Before Galactus found tyrants and executioners, he tried something different. His second true herald was Gabriel Land, a decorated hero of Xandar's Nova Corps, the kind of soldier entire civilizations trusted to lead them into battle. Gabriel was an explorer. With his ship, the Way Opener, he and his crew charted the stars, pushing into the unknown. That curiosity is exactly what drew Galactus's eye. The Devourer scanned Gabriel's mind, saw the strength, the bravery, and the wonder, and decided this was the one. In an instant, Gabriel became the Air-Walker, soaring across the cosmos without the need for a board, wielding powers of interstellar flight and even weather manipulation. His signature tool, the Horn of Galactus, was more than a symbol. With one blast, he could summon his master from anywhere in the universe. Unlike other heralds, Gabriel built something rare with Galactus: a bond. The two often spoke of the stars, and Galactus, usually cold and indifferent, respected his herald's love for exploration. But the cosmos isn't kind. During a mission, Gabriel was ambushed by the alien ovoids. Galactus, weakened by hunger, couldn't save him. The Air-Walker died in service. Galactus wasn't ready to let him go. Using his power, he transferred Gabriel's soul into a flawless robotic body. The replica had his strength, his speed, even his voice. What it didn't have was Gabriel's passion. The explorer's fire was gone, replaced with a machine following orders. That version of Air-Walker clashed with the Silver Surfer on Earth, but the mission failed. The real Gabriel Land was gone, but his story left a mark: Firelord. When Gabriel the Air-Walker vanished into Galactus' service, one man refused to give up on him: Pyreus Krill. Another son of Xandar, Pyreus wasn't just a soldier in the Nova Corps, he was Gabriel's second-in-command and his closest friend. So when Gabriel disappeared, Pyreus swore he'd find him. Years of searching across the galaxy finally brought him face-to-face with Galactus himself. What Pyreus found wasn't the reunion he hoped for. Gabriel had already fallen, his body gone, his soul locked inside a robotic shell. Galactus made an offer. Serve me, and I'll tell you Gabriel's fate. Pyreus accepted. The transformation that followed turned him into Firelord, a living star walking among mortals. His entire body blazed with cosmic fire, his energy flowing into a staff that burned at both ends. He could scorch armies, fly through space unshielded, and bend cosmic flame into weapons of pure destruction. The Nova Corps itself once classified him as a universal threat. As Herald, Firelord crossed paths with Earth's mightiest. He clashed with Thor, then delivered Galactus' request for help against Ego, the living planet. That alliance ended in victory, and Thor demanded Firelord's freedom as payment. Galactus wasn't willing to lose a Herald until Thor offered the destroyer armor as a replacement. Firelord was finally free, but the price was steep. Freedom didn't erase the grief. When Gabriel's robotic form was later destroyed, Firelord lashed out at Thor, unable to let go of his friend's memory. Only when the truth hit that Gabriel was gone long before did he bury his comrade on an asteroid near Xandar. Unlike the Silver Surfer, Firelord stayed brash, quick to anger, and unafraid to kill when war demanded it. But when the galaxy burned during the Annihilation War, he proved his worth, wiping out entire fleets by himself. Terrax the Tamer. Galactus had learned something from his first few recruits. Noble souls like Silver Surfer or Firelord always ended up questioning the mission. So this time, he went hunting for someone with no hesitation about destruction. His answer came in the form of Tyros, a brutal dictator who ruled his planet through fear and blood. Tyros loved conquest. He loved power. Exactly the kind of Herald Galactus thought he needed. The Fantastic Four were the unlucky middlemen. Galactus struck a deal with them to bring Tyros to him, and once the tyrant was aboard, the transformation began. Tyros became Terrax the Tamer, infused with the power cosmic, his body now a weapon of stone and steel. Armed with a cosmic axe, Terrax could tear mountains from their roots, shatter asteroids, and bend entire landscapes to his will. His power was so overwhelming that he often acted like a conqueror in his own right, not just a scout for Galactus. Unlike other heralds, Terrax never chose this life. He served out of fear, chained to Galactus's hunger. But while he was effective, delivering more worlds than his predecessors, he was also reckless. He crowned himself a god on one planet, tried to hide in a black hole on another, and finally dragged Galactus himself down to Earth. There, Terrax raised Manhattan into the sky and threatened to kill every last inhabitant unless the Fantastic Four destroyed his master. It was a gamble that failed spectacularly. Galactus crushed the rebellion, stripped Terrax of his cosmic gifts, and left him broken. Of course, no one stays gone forever in Marvel. Terrax would regain his powers later, clashing with the Silver Surfer and other cosmic forces, but his reputation was sealed. Nova. Frankie Raye wasn't born on a distant star system or in the heart of a cosmic empire. She was human, the stepdaughter of Phineas Horton, the same scientist who built the original android Human Torch of the 1940s. One accident with Horton's chemicals changed Frankie forever. Her body ignited in flame, gifting her with powers nearly identical to the Torch. She could engulf herself in fire, fly, and burn hotter than anything Earth had seen. For a while, she lived alongside the Fantastic Four, even starting a romance with Johnny Storm. That connection to the team sealed her fate. After Terrax's disastrous rebellion, Galactus was starving and ready to consume Earth once again. With the planet seconds from doom, Frankie stepped forward. She didn't run or beg, she volunteered. If serving Galactus meant saving her world, she would take the deal. Johnny Storm tried to stop her, but she made the choice anyway. Galactus accepted, and in a surge of cosmic energy, Frankie Raye was remade as Nova. Her fire now burned with the power cosmic, far brighter and deadlier than before. She no longer needed to flame on. Her fiery form became permanent. At first, Nova carried out her duties with chilling indifference. She led Galactus to world after world, even steering him to Tarnax, home of the Skrulls' throne world, where entire empires collapsed in his wake. But apathy cracked over time. Meeting the Silver Surfer awakened something in her. He recognized the same numbness he once carried and pushed her to see the lives behind the destruction. Slowly, compassion returned. She began sparing uninhabited planets, hiding them from Galactus's hunger. That was the breaking point. The Devourer dismissed her from service, stripping her role as Herald. Her story ended tragically when she crossed paths with Morg the Executioner, who cut her down during his rampage. Her time was short compared to other Heralds, but Frankie Raye remains one of the rare ones, a Herald who chose the fire willingly. Morg the Executioner. When Galactus lost Nova, he decided mercy was a weakness. The next herald had to be different. No compassion, no hesitation, no questions. That search ended on a doomed world where Galactus found a man swinging an axe for a tyrant's court. His name was Morg, an executioner who didn't care about his people or his planet. While others begged for life, Morg stood tall, declaring his own survival mattered more than anyone else's. That cold indifference caught Galactus's attention immediately. Morg was chosen and remade in fire and stone. Empowered with the power cosmic, his axe became a weapon capable of channeling devastating blasts. Unlike Terrax or the Surfer, Morg never argued, never doubted. He was violent, loyal, and unstoppable, the Herald Galactus always thought he wanted. Even the Silver Surfer, shaken by Galactus's choice, tried to intervene. It didn't matter. When they fought, Morg cut the Surfer down and spared him only to send a message. His reign grew darker when he discovered the Well of Life, a mysterious cosmic pool that amplified his power even further. Now armed with strength greater than all the others, Morg faced an alliance of former heralds: Silver Surfer, Firelord, Terrax, even the Air-Walker's robotic form. Together, they launched an assault to stop him. Morg tore through them all. Firelord was nearly killed, the robot Air-Walker destroyed, and Nova herself was slain. That death finally forced Galactus's hand. Nova had been his herald too, and her end wasn't an order he had given. To Galactus, that was unacceptable. He stripped Morg of his power, bringing the Executioner's rampage to an end. Morg would return, as all comic characters do, but his story always carried the same label: the most ruthless Herald Galactus ever unleashed. Redshift. When Galactus needed a new scout, he turned to a warrior shrouded in mystery. No one knows Redshift's species, his origin, or even his real name. All that mattered was the weapon he carried, a pair of twin swords forged with cosmic power. With them, Redshift could carve open space itself, not metaphorically, literally. His blades could rip the sky apart, creating rifts that stretched across the galaxy and even doorways into black holes. Redshift's tenure was short, but unforgettable. He served Galactus with relentless efficiency, slicing the universe open to drag his master closer to energy-rich worlds. When Galactus once again set his sights on Earth, it was Redshift who stood in the way of the Silver Surfer. Their duel wasn't just a fight, it was cosmic chaos. Every swing of those swords threatened to rip reality apart. In the heat of battle, Redshift teleported both himself and the Surfer straight into the gravity well of a black hole. For anyone else, that's a death sentence. For Redshift, it was just another battleground. The clash pushed the Surfer to his limits. Using every ounce of his power, he shattered Redshift's blades, leaving the Herald weakened and beaten. That loss ended his direct service to Galactus, but Redshift's story didn't close there. When the galaxy faced the Annihilation Wave, Redshift returned. He fought side by side with other heralds, no longer a faceless enforcer, but a defender against an enemy that threatened everything. His final act was one of sacrifice, throwing himself into the fight to protect a planet filled with refugees and resistance fighters. The Fallen One. Long before the Silver Surfer soared across the stars, Galactus tried something else. His very first herald wasn't a noble volunteer or a loyal soldier. He was a being born of dark energy, unstable, vicious, and consumed by destruction. His name has been lost to history. He's remembered only by the title that tells you everything you need to know: the Fallen One. The Fallen One was different from every herald that came later. Instead of the power cosmic, Galactus armed him with a volatile form of dark energy. The result was catastrophic. Instead of guiding Galactus to planets, the Fallen One turned his powers into a weapon of chaos. Cruelty defined him. He didn't serve, he terrorized. Galactus quickly realized he'd unleashed something far worse than a scout. Unable to control him, Galactus stripped him of favor and locked him away. But the Fallen One never stayed buried. Again and again, he broke free, always with the same obsession: destroy the master who created him. His vendetta carried him across centuries, and every return meant more chaos for the cosmos. Eventually, he crossed paths with Thanos, and things only got darker. The Mad Titan beat him, enslaved him, and twisted him into his own herald. For a time, the Fallen One carried out Thanos' orders instead of Galactus's, spreading destruction in the Titan's name. His end came during the Annihilation War, when the galaxy's greatest forces clashed with the Annihilation Wave. The Fallen One fought, but this time there was no return. His rampage ended permanently, leaving behind a legacy as the herald who embodied every fear Galactus ever had about choosing the wrong servant: Stardust. Galactus wanted a herald who wouldn't argue, and he got one in Lambda Zero, an ethereal forged from pure living energy. To her, Galactus was divine, and unlike the Surfer, Firelord, or Nova, she didn't wrestle with guilt. Stardust embraced her mission with devotion, so intense it bordered on worship. Her body, nearly indestructible, could reform from almost any injury. She carried a cosmic halberd, a weapon that channeled the power cosmic into devastating blasts and even carved open rifts leading to black holes. Where other heralds searched for worlds, Stardust went. Further, she hunted survivors. If Galactus consumed a planet, she made sure no trace of its people escaped. That obsession set her apart, the herald who finished the job no matter what. Her debut was brutal. Galactus consumed the world of the Corbinites, home of Beta Ray Bill's people. Most of the population fled, but Stardust chased them, triggering a clash with Bill himself. That fight announced her arrival as one of Galactus's most dangerous agents. During the Annihilation War, Stardust's loyalty was put to the ultimate test. She fought alongside Redshift and the other heralds to protect Galactus from Annihilus, the insectoid warlord bent on draining his power. Stardust sacrificed herself in the blast and survived. Being non-corporeal gave her an edge even death couldn't claim. Her story turned even darker when she discovered her people had been wiped out. The few who remained called her a traitor for serving Galactus. In response, Stardust absorbed them into herself and later fed them to Galactus as proof of her loyalty. The Devourer rewarded her by keeping her in his service, this time alongside the Silver Surfer. Stardust never betrayed, never hesitated, and never broke faith. Of all Galactus's heralds, she was the true believer, a zealot forged in cosmic fire who lived only to serve her master. And that's it. Now to you, if Galactus were to choose a new herald today, not from the comics, but from the entire Marvel universe as it stands, who do you think would be worthy of carrying the power cosmic? Comment down below as you leave a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for more amazing videos like this one.